Everybody, and welcome to the MBS show reviews. This week we have a treat for you because we've been behind reviews for 3 weeks. So we're going to review one episode after the other in separate videos, mind you. So you don't have to sit through one episode review so you can listen to the next one. This is James Corck, and with me I have my awesome friend and good co-host, Norman Sanzo. Hey, Norman.
Hey, James. Finally, we're doing a review. People have been asking for it.
I think I forgot how to do this.
Oh, I don't blame you, James, because Mod Pie, the episode we're going to review now, it's a hard one to cover.
Are we supposed to talk about refrigerators? No, wait a minute. We review lamps, right? Yes.
No. We
review lamps.
I thought we review magic cards, no?
No, Norman. We what we do with those is we buy them and then we sell them on eBay at wholesale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, we don't review them. We don't work with that guy with the glasses. We are not that desperate.
Okay.
This first episode, I'm pretty sure it's going to be easy for the next two, but this episode is, and you agree with me, it is a difficult one to tackle. Mm-hmm. And it's not difficult because we don't know what to think of it. I have a very clear idea what to think of the episode. I'm pretty sure you do as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that. The thing is that with Mod Pie, which, by the way, we are reviewing Mod Pie, which is episode 18 of season 4, written by newcomer Noelle Benvenuti and released on March 15 of 2014. And it's a difficult episode to review and to talk about because of the character they are introducing. This TV show has introduced new characters in the past, but never one that contrasts so much with the personality and the tone of the entire series.
Mm-hmm. That is true. And I turned on my intro because I should have gone like Raven.
Some people are saying Raven, some people are saying Daria, which I have never watched Daria, but from what I saw, it looks like a really good, really interesting animated show. Mm-hmm. However, the character that Maud reminds me of?
Who?
She reminds me of Elizabeth Sherman, the character played by Selma Blair in Hellboy. Yeah, the pyrokinetic girl that can set fire to things.
But
and the reason why she was so emotionless in that movie is because, of course, if she doesn't keep her emotions under control, she will just burst into flames. Mm-hmm. However, Maud is emotionless and kind of monotone by default, mm-hmm. and by decision.
Oh yeah,
she's a very interesting character. I will say that.
Oh yeah, with your comparison to the Hellboy girl, who was it again?
The character is Elizabeth Sherman, and the name of the actress is Selma Blair.
Yeah, well, with Elizabeth Sherman, with her, I do remember her. I kind of blurred out because I haven't seen Hellboy in a while, but I do remember her. She was kind of cool. And comparing her with...
cool. You're funny because she's on fire.
Yeah, I know. But with comparing her with Maud, it's hard. I won't say Maud is cool. I say Maud is one of those friends you know.
And I think that's the beauty of this character is that she is painfully familiar. We all know the one, when we go to high school, we know the one girl or guy that is they don't want to show their emotions. They're very monotone, they're very quiet, or they're very sad, or they look depressed, but they might not be depressed, maybe because that's how they are happy. And that's the key of the question. That's why she is such an interesting character, in that it contrasts with how extrovert all the other characters are. Even a shy character like Fluttershy, she will show her emotions and she will show how much she enjoys being with animals and enjoying their company. However, or Twilight, she will enjoy the books and she will be enthusiastic about it. Pinky is enthusiastic about everything. Rainbow Dash is enthusiastic about sports, about being the best at something. Applejack and her apples, Rarity and her dresses, and in that you don't realize how extrovert and outrageously happy these characters are, until you see a character that is the complete opposite, in that she's not showing her happiness, but it is inside. You know that she's enjoying what she's doing. Mm-hmm. You know she likes the way she is.
Oh yeah, that's
she
true.
doesn't. She doesn't. She doesn't shy away from doing poetry about rocks, or being strong enough to throw a rock and create a nuclear explosion. Being able to peel an apple by smashing it.
Oh yeah, that.
And having a taste of an apple cider that it tastes like apples.
Yeah, I mean, those kind of person, like the things that you described there, James, we know a person like that in real life, even if we tend not to talk about them that much, or even that was us when we were younger. I mean, think about it. Like, if someone said, how do you like this? You said, yeah, it's good. I like it. It's nice. And you know what? Those kind of situations are, how do I put this? Those kind of things are kind of natural when you're growing up and don't have much friend or don't have much exposure to more than one person or one environment.
Yeah, because if you think about it, Maud comes from the pie farm where they grow rocks.
Okay.
And she might not have had the same life experience that Pinkie Pie had.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
While Pinkie is like, she's all about going places, going all over Equestria, partying with her friends, fighting giant evil monsters and gods of chaos and changeling queens, and she's all about that. Of course, there goes the contrast on how the environment you grow in can change your personality. Like, who knows? Maybe Maud could have been Pinkie Pie if she had left the rock farm to go to Ponyville, and maybe Pinkie Pie could have been Maud if she had stayed at the rock farm.
Oh yeah, I mean that's true.
Like,
that's true.
Yeah, there are a lot of fanfics actually touching this issue about Pinkie Pie never discovering her talent for partying and staying in the rock farm forever. The same way there are fanfics about Applejack not going back to Sweet Apple Acres and staying in Manhattan. And both deal with rather interesting results of how their personalities could have been. So this new character I keep saying she's really interesting, but there is no other way to describe it. She is really interesting, and I want to know more about Maud.
Oh yeah.
Like, there were people complaining about why can't we see the other two sisters? Why can't we see Marble Pie and what was the name of the other? One of them was Marble Pie, and the other was they are all pie, something pie. They always are. And to be honest, I completely forgot about the other sisters as soon as Maud said, sedimentary. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my god, I love this character. It was kind of like immediate, because that is the type of character that I really like, and I wanted to know more about her. And even at the end of the episode, I still want to know more about her. I want to know more. It's like, please bring her back. I want to see more of Maud.
Oh, I agree. I mean, she is one of those enigma characters where we want to know more of them. We want to know, who is this person? How is she like? What is her personality like? I mean, for example, in Daria, we got a whole season. In Raven, we got a whole season. Even in Hellboy, we got a whole movie. So at least we got something to work off there. With Maud Pie, it's a 22-minute episode where the main focus is the main six trying to befriend her. And we didn't get much. Basically, we get one tone out of her for the whole entire episode. Where in reality, she was excited, she was happy, she was jumping with joy, she was confused, she was smug about it, but because of her character's style, it's all monotone. It's like playing one key on a piano. That's about it.
Not really. That's actually, you know what? I'm going to disagree with you on that because, yeah, I mean, she was trying. They were trying to. The main six were trying to. The main five were trying to befriend Maud because they wanted to bond with Pinkie Pie's sister, and they were finding it hard to do because they were losing focus of the one thing that they all have in common, which is the conclusion they reach at the end of the episode. The way they figure out that is a bit convoluted, to be honest with you. Like the whole, what's it called? Hold on a minute, because I really want to say this line because it's outrageously.
Oh,
it is ridiculous.
I know the line you're talking about, James.
Pinkie Pie's impossible obstacle course, which is called Pinkie Rainbow Rally Twi Apple Flutter Mod Fun Time.
Why does it remind me of Professor Genki's Fun Time adventure?
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. When I was little, I went to a fun park, and it looked pretty much like that, minus the giant boulder at the end. But yeah, I look at that and I saw, oh yeah, I used to be 10 years old once. That was fun. But yeah, I mean that was fairly convoluted. Like it is clear that the whole setup was, we have to put Pinkie Pie in peril for some reason so we can show how much Maud cares for her. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much the only thing that kind of nags at me, saying, it could have been done so many other different ways. It could have been done better, but it is a great example of how much how big of a badass Maud Pie is, and how much she cares for her sister. In like, I didn't remember this until I watched the episode again. But after Maud goes at the boulder with her German outfit, by the way,
Right.
She had the German spiky hat. Come on, and she goes at the boulder and she literally punches it into gravel. She punches the boulder into gravel. So up until that point, I didn't think much of Maud, but that moment was great. And then that is followed by Maud taking Pinkie Pie to the back to the ground and giving her a hug. And I am like I couldn't even talk. It was a great moment. And that's the moment where the main six realized that despite them trying to bond with Maud, there was no need for them to do that because they already have one thing in common, which is being loving Pinkie Pie.
Well, yeah, true that. But James, I think the episode had two parts to it. During the first part, the first lesson is not everyone clicks. You know,
you cannot make friends with everyone. Yeah, I mean, that is true.
That is one lesson that we all should know. I mean, everyone is acquaintances, but we don't click the same way we hope we do. For example, I have a friend, and my friend is a good friend with me. He plays card games, he plays this and that. And we went to Singapore to meet Kitsune. Kitsune are good friends. He does things that I know, like maybe he plays card game or stuff, and he likes the ponies. My other friend doesn't. So it's kind of hard for them to click on something, but they did. But it could be a hard click if they didn't have anything else to talk about.
That is the basis of friendship, though.
Yeah, true.
Not all. You're going to have a lot. If you're an open, extroverted, even introverted, but if you're an open person that doesn't care to share his or her emotions, you're going to end up meeting people and that are going to share your same preferences, but maybe they don't share them between each other. So there can be clashes, and you're going to be caught in the middle. That's always going to happen. If you have a lot of friends, that is always going to happen. Hell, it happened to me. Like it keeps happening to me, and I am 29. So it's going to happen your whole life. And it depends on how well you deal with that. However, this episode, I know what you're saying, that it has two parts. This is the first part. We could have ended the episode right there and not having to go to the second lesson, which I know what you were going to say, because the second lesson is you can still be friends with someone no matter what.
That, and also if there's a link in between friendship, there is still a possible chance to be friends. It's going to take a long time, but still, you can be friends. For example, with me, you and let's just say Sketchy, because I didn't know Sketchy before I met you. And you know what? Oh, I met you. And then I met Sketchy. I know who Sketchy was. To me, Sketchy was the Sketchy senpai. Like, oh, I'm so nervous to meet Sketchy senpai. But now when we hear me are quite okay. We talk. I don't get nervous around him anymore.
Well, that's kind of like a different situation, but I mean, the reason why they ended the episode on that note and why they ended it like that is because this TV show, because of how this TV show is and what this TV show is. If we take, for example, let's take Adventure Time, okay? If Adventure Time had not this kind of episode, they could have ended it on the first moral and that's it. It couldn't have gone any further.
Oh yeah, Adventure Time.
You could have ended it like that, then moved to the next episode, that's it. No modeling, no need to talk about it. It's like, no, move on. This show isn't like that.
Oh yeah.
This show has an aura of hope, of the possibility of getting better, the possibility of improving, of having like a light at the end of the tunnel. And like, if they hadn't ended the episode like they ended it, then it couldn't have been an episode of this show. It could have been an episode of another show that sneaked in and they put ponies in it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, given the chance of Mod Pie to become quote-unquote friends with the rest of the main six, where they are exchanging candy necklaces now. They're fine, they're good, they're in good terms, they're happy. And Maud is excited, even though she's not showing, because but we take Pinkie Pie's word for it. Mm-hmm. And the main six are now fine with Maud's attitude because they were confused. Mostly because they live in a town where you have a singing a singing number every 5 minutes. So yeah. Of course they're confused with her attitude, but no, they're cool with that, and Maud is cool with that as well, because the one thing that connects them, the one thing that keeps them in. That keeps them together is Pinkie Pie. So they keep on their friendships for Pinkie Pie's sake.
Oh, that's true. I think it goes beyond that too, because at first the main five didn't really understand Maud. It's one of those characteristics where, I don't really understand you. I mean, it's going to be awkward for us to hang out. It's best that we don't. It's best that we don't be awkward. So we are acquaintances. Okay, so you got my Facebook, I got your Facebook. Alrighty then. So alright. It's one of those situations because the main five don't really understand Maud. Even near the end, where they are all in agreement that they like Pinkie Pie and then they should be happy for Pinkie Pie and stuff, whatever it is. And and Twilight thinks that would be a great link to be friends. And Maud says, sure. I mean, think about it. In a happy ending situation where we are near the end, we are supposed to be happy, and your answer is sure. The main five are confused, and Pinkie Pie goes, "What's wrong?" Rarity says, "Sorry, darling. I think we all just thought that she'd be a bit more excited about this."
Yeah. Just like exactly. Just like I said. I mean, it doesn't matter if your attitude, like. You cannot change a person's personality. You cannot just go and say, "Look, we can be friends if you start acting like that," or we can be friends if you start acting like this, or if you change this trait of your personality. That is like going to an artist and saying, "Look, we can feature your work in our DeviantArt group, but only if you change your art style."
Oh no!
And it will be like, "No, you know what? No, screw you. I'm not. Yeah. I don't wanna be your friend. I don't want to be in your DeviantArt group." By the way, that anecdote that I just used totally happened.
Oh God, really? No?
Totally happened. Yes, I will tell you about it when we're done. But yeah, totally happened. So. You guys have to take into account that, Maud is a great example. It's just a great contrast between what these show characters are, how they act, how they behave, and it's like you put the total opposite and you make an absolutely likable character. And I'm pretty sure you were wondering, you're focusing way too much on Maud Pie. Well, she is the title of the episode.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And
she's the focus. We cannot not talk about her.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And just like last week when last review, when we talk about Applejack and her boots, this is the focus. Maud Pie is the focus because think about it. There's awesome things, but Maud always does something awesome.
But for the love of God, do not put any artwork of Maud.
Maud Pie is an interesting character, and I hope they reveal more about her. And since she is the first sister, the biggest sister to the Pies, I want to see how the other two are like, because we all know that Maud was first, and she was not featured in the flashback episode.
Yeah,
and
she wasn't featured in the flashback, but in Pinkie Pride, we did see her in the picture.
Yeah, true.
We did see her there. So yeah, in my opinion, I think that people were saying, retcon, and I am like,
not really.
Well, maybe she was in the flashback, but she wasn't at the farm in the moment. Maybe she was traveling abroad.
No, coming back from the store, something like that, coming back from town, because, reasons. This is all headcanon. And she was mentioned in the book that Giambero wrote.
Really?
Yeah. I think Pinkie Pie asked this to the parents, because in the book, Pinkie Pie's parents and two sisters came down to meet her in Ponyville. And near the end, Pinkie asked her dad, who's taking care of the farm? Oh, your older sister is. Then there's another sister. All your Pinkie Pie fans are really hyped. Especially Dan. He was really hyped for this.
Okay. Final conclusions. Bottom line. Norman, what did you think of the episode?
At first, I was confused about this episode because, like I told you, it's a very hard episode to like. There's a few things that didn't really got me, which was Maud. But the more I think about it, the more I watch it, it clicked. This show, why I didn't click at first is because of Maud. Maud is a total 180 to the main six, or to the show. Her characteristic was so bland, was so, how do I put this, monotone, that it got me confused with the whole feeling. But after understanding the whole aspect of the show, I say I like it. If I were to give a score out of 10, I'll say 7 or 8.
I think this episode brought up a very interesting concept in that they take a character that is as diametrically opposed to the main six as you could possibly imagine, and they rolled with it, and they went with it, and they didn't shy away from doing genuine boring talk. In that, I have a poem about rocks. I have written thousands.
Oh God.
And they are taking a big risk, because this type of character, I don't know about you, but I do love this type of character, but the problem is that it's a double-edged sword.
Oh yeah.
It can be really interesting, but it can make it very unlikable.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, you have all these characters that are so happy and cheerful and wee-hee, woohoo, and then you put on this downer of a character, and it is really, really, really difficult to make that type of character likable. Like, I can think 3 or 4 TV shows that made that character likable, and a couple of works of fiction, but the others, kind of like you run the risk of turning the character into the emo gang from South Park, if you know what I mean. In that they are unlikable by default, and there is no redeeming qualities about them whatsoever. You do run that risk. However, when you show Maud how much she cares for Pinkie, how strong she is, how much will she has, and how she doesn't hesitate to help others, you suddenly give the character 3 dimensions.
Oh, true.
Like, she can be a downer, and she can be a bit self-centered in that she has a very dry speech, very dry replies, and a rather selfish personality. But she is willing to drop everything and go help those she cares for.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the focus of the episode that was Maud Pie, they completely nailed it. So in my opinion, this episode is great. I love it. I think this is one of the best debuts of a writer in this TV show. It's very much on the same level of Castlevania with Josh Haber and Scott Sonborn with Some Pony to Watch Over Me. It's still not Sleepless in Ponyville, Still not that kind of like that level, but it is very good.
Oh yeah, that is true. That's true.
If I were to give it whatever out of 10 grade, I think I go high and I will give it 9 out of 10.
Okay. Understandable. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. What reminds me of an Elcor.
Oh, well, no, because an Elcor is supposed to say their emotions as they're talking. It will be like, despondent. I have written thousands.
No, but that's the thing. Like, if she were to say her feelings at first and continue on saying, that would be odd. But anywho, with that bad joke out of the way, so James, what is the next episode?
Next episode is For Whom the Suitable Toils, episode 19 of season 4. Overall episode 84, written by Dave Polsky. And because we are doing it all in one single day, this is being recorded on the same day, so right afterwards. But for those of you people of the future, if you don't want to hear more about ModPie, you can end it right now because we just finished. Indeed. This has been James Corck.
Norman Sanzo here.
We'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.